Hello and welcome everyone to this finals for the Division 2 70-star tournament. We got a matchup between Tabascoth and protoman5, the big finale to this very controversial and very interesting tournament that we have had so far. I'm Scotch and Tie Guy. You can call me Scotch. I'm here in the booth with the ever lovely and amazing Electric. How are you feeling today, man?
Feeling great. Really excited to see this match between the SM64 Terminator himself, Tabascoth, and Protoman, who has been just an absolute phenom in this tournament. I think we're in for a really, really great matchup today, and really excited for what these guys are going to have to offer.
Well, get some bless RNGs in chat for sure. Hopefully we have no issues. We've had a little bit of controversy, like I said, mechanical issues on both of the semifinal races. So hopefully we don't have any issues this time around. And these guys are getting set up, but we're about ready to go.
Make sure you stay hydrated for this race, folks. Just a friendly reminder.
And here we go. Countdown,
countdown.
Yeah, our good restreamer Milo in the back room, setting things up for us. Big shout outs to our restreamers.
It's me, Mario.
And we've got to go.
Drinking water is for slaves who don't eat enough raw meat and blood.
Dear Mario.
Folks, I think that's the last Twitch chat message I should make.
Now, right off the bat, we have a little bit of a difference between Proto and Taba. Taba running the Japanese version, Proto running the English version. Again, a little negligible, but Protoman will have a slight 1 to 3 second advantage overall over Taba, just simply because of the version differences here in 70-star.
Yep. And interestingly enough, in the Discord chat, just before the race starting, Protoman and Taba telling each other they need to get together for a practice session at some point.
That's what I've enjoyed so far. I like the good sportsmanship we've seen so far. You know, light jabs here and there, just messing around, playing around. That's the whole thing I like about speedrunning. You know, the whole community.
Yeah, it's certainly a collaborative competition field, and it's really interesting to see him. Protoman pulling out the island hop. Let's see if he's able to get this. This is pretty interesting. So,
this is big.
If you have seen a run before, if you remember Sky Jump, this is that star. Ooh, taking a bonk instead of a firstie. And it looks... He got it! Okay. So the reason that you do this is you don't have to come back to BOB after wing cap stage. So that saves a good like 4 or 5 seconds in castle movement. So is going to save a little bit of time. Is going to further the desync though, because Protoman is going to have to go back for bomb clip while Taba is going into the slide. So
now I haven't seen this in a race yet. So this is kind of really interesting to see Proto doing this.
Yeah, so after he gets done with Dark World, he's pretty well just gonna go right back downstairs. Well, aside from TCM.
Unfortunately, messing up that bomb clip. Gonna have to come back around, and he'll just go for the ground pounds on Chain Chomp.
Yeah, smart move going for it really quickly there. You can get some pretty quick pounds on the pole, and the chomp does take a little while for the cutscene, but overall it's not too bad, and you just cut your losses if you need to.
Well, it's between that and trying to reset up the camera correctly. So if you have a bad camera angle, unfortunately on the second bomb grab, you can't get into that cage with the clip, so it's safer in a race situation to do what he did. Tab making his way through Walm's Fortress though.
Going for the pro cycle here. If you collect that first line there before actually collecting the ring, normally you collect that line on the end, but you can make that full cycle while collecting that line, but you have to have really precise movement, and that pretty well killed it. So going to be shooting for some sort of very odd cycle at this point. He probably doesn't even know where the platforms are. And nice side flip back up there. Normally you want to be running to do a kick jump, so he's just going to be waiting for this cycle here. Protoman, meanwhile, having to go for Wild Blue first.
Honestly, Tabba not too bad. Getting that cycle, fortunately. Proto doing a nice job, though, making his way through.
And Tabba with a nice arrow pickup. So pretty decent 100 coin overall.
Proto heading on over for his cannon list. Goes for that texture setup.
You got to after a island hop. And
Wow.
he gets it first try. Very nice. Well, aside from that mistake that caused him to do island or in the Wild Blue. And so both at 4 stars. Tabba with 100 coin under his belt. Proto with Wild Blue and Cannonless. He's going to be shooting for 100 coin with the standard full cycle movement. A lot easier if you don't collect that first line.
Ooh, very nearly missing a death there. Good fence, fortunately.
Judo Gerudo.
Oh, no!
Protoman accidentally collecting the star again. That's really bad.
That's very unfortunate. I mean, he was on such a nice pace there, and just, you gotta be super careful with that double jump, and just a little too far forward there on the stick.
You hate to see it. You just gotta hate to see it. And Judo Gerudo, yes, all of the participants in the tournament are playing on N64. It is required to have a total even playing field, because with this game, the different versions do have pretty significant time differences. In particular, WeVC has inaccurate load times, so they're actually much faster than MU and N64. So VC, you can get insane times because there's no lag either.
Well, Protoman and Tabba both getting Owl's first try. Looks like Proto is going to avoid 100 altogether. Or excuse me. He's going to do 100 later.
Yeah, I gotta take a cool off break, I guess, or something. It's probably a shadow looming over his head at this point, though, and that's what you really don't want to have in the middle of a run. You really, those mid-run mental blocks are really what kill races.
Nice kill on the big womp. Tabba will follow suit.
Tabba with that nice optimal triple jump movement. Getting some pretty nice pounds on the womp. I love seeing runners that in between the phases, they go around pound between the womp again. You can do the jump and kick off the side, but the womp's hitbox is a little bit weird on his sides. It extends further than it should. And so, Protoman now getting the full cycle movement at least. So that's good.
Yeah, that'll be a confidence boost. Much better. Very good movement also.
And he's pretty well got this one in the bag, which is great to see after that initial failure. And, you know, if his first canvas would have worked out and he would have still had that backup star, then everything would have been fine, but no. Tabba, meanwhile, with the... I think he ended up having to get a wall kick there. That was kind of interesting.
Well, as we see here, Tabba heading out.
You're going to be going back up to the slide. Post those guesses in chat once again. I think we're going to be seeing a 12-6 from Tabba this time around, actually.
I'm going to go with a 12-8. I am not as much of a soothsayer as Electric is, though. So,
well, let's see what we got here. Nice dive. It looks pretty clean. 12-6. As the script foretold, Tabba will be getting a bonus for following the script of this race.
Sock Monkey in chat with
the
correct
Proto
guess.
with the bonk, but it was a reverse bonk, so it did kind of get him closer to the star at least. As Tabba entering the confirmed hardest stage in the game. And thank you so much, Mangso Deluxe, for the 100 bits.
Always appreciated the support for GSA, obviously. Proto heading into Peach's Slide as well. Get more guesses in if you'd like.
You know, Proto's been kind of variable. Honestly, I hate to say it, but I'm thinking we're going to be seeing a 12-8 or 12-9.
Well, he takes a different angle, I've noticed, than everyone else. So there's a 12-9. But his angle is a little bit different than what you would typically see. Not sure what the reasoning behind that is, but you know, that's the reasoning behind why you see the variation in timing.
Yeah, now this T-Hag's noticing, it looks like Protoman actually skipped a star in Womps. Because if he did Island Hop, he should have had all 10. Yeah, Taba with the death. And Protoman, meanwhile, just flying clear left of those coins. Works out, though, gives him a really, really nice angle for the... Oh, yeah, he didn't do the first slide. That's right. But missing the tech skip despite having the premium angle, that's pretty rough to see. Just landing right beside the star rather than actually hitting it.
Yeah, it almost looked like he set that up on purpose, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I'm not sure. But, you know, again, he had a really nice angle, like you said, just a straight shot.
Taba with the brutal pound there right in the middle of the cycle. Let's see if he's going to be able to pull out a...
Oh,
Dive
Taba!
instead of a kick! Oh,
wow.
Man. Double deaths in Dark World Deluxe. Let's see, Proto 12-7.
13 flat. But Taba, I mean, that was a really terrible place to take a death to. I mean, he took a death right around here the first time, which wasn't too bad, but then he took a death right after the 5th coin, which is, you know, obviously you're right in the middle
like 40,
of that red
50
coin.
seconds.
Yeah.
And so stuff like that is just really, really brutal in the middle of these races, and this has definitely allowed Proto to make up a lot of the room that he lost through those mistakes earlier in the Worlds. Yeah, you definitely hate to see it, as EVM9 is quoting yet again. Taba with a good dive. He is finishing out now, though, as Protoman noodles over that switch and takes a very interesting camera angle to that red there. You don't take any extra lag from viewing it head on, so not exactly sure why he went for that. I guess from the berm maybe offsetting his normal camera angle. Yeah, because you gotta remember, Protoman does have that 1-star. After this, Taba does have to go for his sky jump in BOB. And Proto with the nice clean ending there.
Yeah, Proto doing a nice job cleaning that up. A couple of small mistakes here and there. A little bonk.
Yeah, taking a weird camera angle for these wall kicks. A lot of strange camera angle decisions here in Dark World, which can be pretty punishing for things like that. But in this case, Protoman does seem to be making out okay, as Taba is going to have to go for his sky jump. This is the castle movement time that you save by, and of course you have to deal with the star select anyway, but like, but yeah. But you do get to do this slightly faster strat, so that's why Island Hop doesn't save a whole lot of time. It doesn't save as much as like, say, LBLJ in 120 star. Because this strat is just so fast to fly up there.
Well, we're close to a sync here.
Yeah, they will be getting into CCM around the same time. Yep.
Very nice.
Let's see, text box on Taba comes up at 12:15, 12:16 for Protoman, about a 1.5 second difference. Oh man. We've got a race on our hands going into CCM, 5 stars away, or 4, depending on the route these guys take from the dreaded basement. Taba going ahead and getting rid of wall kicks. Love his camera angle that he uses here. Gives you a nice wide open view of the whole wall kicks will work area, so you can do those rollouts and redives really fast. Meanwhile, Protoman with a clean Penguin star. Now, this is a slight version difference here. Protoman grabbing that star off to the side from that frozen pond. Taba will actually have to grab that star from the top of the Penguin Mom's head, which can be a little bit faster depending on how exactly you end the star. So, like he is doing right here, all he has to do is a jump and maybe a kick to go ahead and pick up this star on top of her head. Protoman with the nice wall kicks will work movement as well. You love to see the advanced movement being shown off here. It's honestly, I feel like it's a bit easier to do suboptimally than the beginner movement is to do optimally.
Well, and here we see these guys heading on into the slide. Doing that quick slide, kind of skip, if you will.
Yeah, so definitely committing to the CCM 18 movement here. Only going to have to deal with one pillarless later on the run. Both with some decent moonwalks to have a little bit more optimal.
We've got a tight race here, folks.
They've got all the same CCM stars under their belt.
Well, this is exactly the sort of thing that you want to see in a finals race. I mean, this is it's best 2 out of 3, so we'll see how the other races go. But so far, very fun to watch.
Okay, good movement so far on the sliding section of 100 coin. Now, the real Monka S part here is going to be in the big slide. Let's see if they decide to grab the safety red, but judging based on their past behavior, yeah, no safety here whatsoever. So they can only miss 1 coin in this section coming up. If they miss more than 1, they will lose a minute and a half. And this penguin is a prime example of, for whatever reason, in early 3D game design, developers thought that every race had to have insane rubber banding, and this is no exception. This is like the Goron race from MM. Like it's ridiculous how much the rubber band, like that. Protoman went so fast down that initial part of the slide, and then the rubber band causes the penguin to zoom past him.
Interesting. Taba deciding to go with. Oh, here's that movement from Taba right there that we've seen from him as of late. Doesn't really make up any time. It just seems to be like he's doing that just to optimize his movement towards the star. But it certainly doesn't make up any time because the penguin takes the exact same amount of time to waddle on over and give you the star for beating him in the race.
Yep. And so, as you can see, just a couple of seconds apart here, Taba with a slight advantage going into the basement. If you immediately jump and grab the star before the penguin passes, can he push you off? I believe so, because Mario can be pushed around by objects, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah.
Well, especially by the penguin. I mean, it's such a large polygon.
Another interesting thing that can happen, if you take a certain path through the race, like if you take a corner a certain way, the penguin can just fall off the slide and he'll never finish. And that also cost you that same minute and a half.
That actually has happened in a race. I forget to I think it actually happened in Proto. I could be wrong about that, though. Maybe someone in chat can remind me.
Proto with the safe triple jump strats in BBH. Taba saving a little bit of time with that side flip. Both of them just going to... Oh, and Taba going right through Big Boo here. Can he recover? Oh, he fell off the house! No! That's brutal! Oh, man.
So Proto will be making up a ton of time here. Proto taking the lead now.
Yeah,
and Taba with the backup, missing the first ground pound. That's brutal.
That is such bad time loss for Taba. Oh, man. I've only... Like, I haven't run real 70 star on a high level yet, just, like, done randomizer runs, but all the times I fell off the house, that hurts. I feel for him there. Like, anytime you fall off that house trying to do anything, you just curse everything about it, because there's no way to get back up there.
Well, especially with that optimized movement, you need to be so careful to line yourself up with Big Boo. You know, the whole point of that movement is so that you can take him out while you're moving up to the star. See if Taba can do it again and do it here.
Yeah, so he does get the long jump right through him there, and that final little bop. So you want to try to fight Boo in such a way that it does this. It positions him close to where you're going to have to pick up the star, so that you can just do a quick little run up there with Mario. Now, Proto going to be going for his Mips grab here. Are we going to see a punch here? We see attempted punch, but no go.
Wow, actually, really interesting. Proto decided to just say, okay, I'm going to move away from MIPS and just move on into SSL. I actually like that move. That's a good move.
Yeah, not wasting a whole lot of time. Proto with the very interesting initial bomb movement there. But it looks like he's over the hill now. Gotta get these double jumps. Okay, he's almost there. Nearly home free. Okay, now Taba is getting MIPS here, so gonna look even more behind, but he does already have this rabbit that Proto is gonna have to pick up later. And Taba is gonna have to go for his own pillarless here. can make up a few seconds over Proto, especially if he ends up going for the Tama Plus, which I'm sure he knows and we've seen him go before. Okay, standard plus from him. Smart move. It is safer. Getting the double jumps with Doom. And he's over the hill. Very nice.
Well, nice pluses from both these guys. Proto obviously having a little bit trickier of an angle than Taba there, but that'll be nice for both these guys to have a nice hurdle to get over.
All right, now let's see here. Taba going for a very interesting talent angle. Pretty fast, though, as Protoman gets affectionately known as Shiny Top.
Taba with that interesting little camera angle. Haven't seen that before.
And Protoman's going to go ahead and move into Lethal Lava Land.
Pretty straightforward red coins.
Yeah.
Nothing too difficult. Taba grabbing the top of the top of the pyramid.
You can do a long jump intro movement for those reds that makes it just completely free, but doing the dive movement isn't super hard and saves a decent bit of time over the other strats. Taba taking that interesting bonk. We've seen a lot of reverse bonks in this run so far. When you bonk on a corner, some weird stuff can happen.
Very nice wing movement there from Proto. Exactly how you want to do that.
Yeah, meanwhile, Taba with clean reds of his own after the initial painting issue. Nice side kick re-entry. Or slide kick. Oh, and Proto missing that second long jump to get to the bully in a completely wrong position, but does manage to get him off one kick.
Oh, Taba really with a really nice sign save there. Missing that triple jump off the arch. Gets that sign though. And now what's going to be interesting to see is their decisions as far as lava boost. We'll see Taba go for it. Going for Pro. Missing it!
Oh, yeah, missing the rock entirely. He is going to be able to recover on the elevator just barely, but he doesn't know where the fire bar is. Let's see. It's in a good position for him. Okay. Taking that quick pause for whatever reason.
Little fake sync there for y'all. The exact same star count, just a different position as far as, you know, MIPS grab or not.
Yeah, Proto ultimately much deeper in the stage. You know what's funny is on Taba's screen, the lava looks like Tabasco.
Very ironic for his name. Taba going for that Pro boost. Proto going for that easier setup.
And the Pro ending from Taba.
Very nice.
Taba does have an additional star to go for over Protoman, but he's certainly making up some decent time over some of Proto's mistakes.
Well, Taba seems to be pulling out some of the harder strats over Proto to make up a little bit of time. Maybe he knows he's slightly behind, so as to, you know, again, make up that time.
Why is English faster for 70 again? Because of the text differences. So text in this game in English is very compressed compared to Japanese text. Like, the characters are very small and they don't have a lot of width. And so there are a lot of text boxes that have, like, say 2 text boxes on English and 3 on Japanese. And the specific stars and stages that you do in 70 star make 70 faster for English because of those text box differences. And the major things that make 70 slower, like the IROC text boxes on JP, there are 2. In English, there are 9. That's not seen in 70 star. The fact that the JRB star is in a box, that's not seen in 70 star. So a lot of the things that make English so slow aren't actually seen in 70 star. It's kind of interesting that this category is the only one that is still better on English, and only by a second or 2. So
We'll see Proto grabbing MIPS there, kind of a 16 star throwback for the Myths grab as he moves into Triple D. Taba not too far behind though.
And we see Mario with those pretty interesting boat shoes there. I don't exactly know how to really describe those shoes other than just brown boats.
They're a throwback to the, what is it? The bohemian style of wearing clogs.
Yeah, that certainly makes sense. 'Cause, I mean, they just look really bulky and they don't look optimal for swimming whatsoever. I feel like there should be a little cutscene of Mario taking off his shoes and like putting them under one of his arms or something whenever he gets in the water. And then when he gets out, he slowly puts the shoes back on. That would be optimal for a speedrunning game.
Well, we'll see here. We've got sub movement now. Looks like Proto's setting up for that back sub. Obviously a little bit more consistent.
Yeah.
That's what Taba decides to go with.
Interestingly enough, not still completely free though. You can take some pretty significant time loss from your sub if you're not careful, if you don't have the practice at it.
Well, it's, number one, it's that back fin and how much space you've got. Proto Man obviously showing, you know, how it's done. But then also it's the lag when you get on top of the sub and how you manage that. Taba, though, going for front sub here.
Yeah, let's see what exact angle he goes for. There are some angles that you can get that are basically lagless, but you have to turn the camera completely around. It's pretty ridiculous. Let's see here. He's going for one of these very far left. First try, you can see just how fast front sub has gotten over the years. Used to it was like, I think like a 2-3 second time save, but it's become just a little bit bigger now because of those really nice lag reduced setups. And Proto taken upstairs against his will.
That's
just
very
being
unfortunate.
Dragged up there, can't do anything about it. That's, oh man, that's terrible. Almost able to sneak out of that box, but just can't manage it.
That's unfortunate to see. And we see Taba going for Manta right away. And Big D whatever, thank you so much for the subscription. Appreciate it. Big sub hype in chat.
Commentators yelling in your ears. I'm sorry for getting excited.
My volume is always at 11. I don't know if you know this.
I will try moving further from the mic in these moments, but I can't make any promises.
Well, Proto, regardless of having that difficulty with the movement.
Bonk on that last wall kick.
Yeah.
Okay, doesn't even manage to. Wait!
Star!
What's
he
he doing?
Did the star!
I think
Does
he
he
missed the
realize
red
what he did?
earlier on. I don't understand what he thinks he's doing as Taba's getting completely bullied. I'm not sure at all what. Wait.
So he had grabbed 7 coins when he was that last coin was his 7th coin. So he missed a coin somewhere.
But yeah, who knows where it was actually.
Not really sure what's happening with this race.
Yeah,
to be honest.
because Taba with getting the star will be 2 stars ahead, so that leaves another star unaccounted for. Not sure at all what is going on with Protoman's stream. Did he grab Mips? I don't think he grabbed Mips.
He grabbed Mips. I know he grabbed Mips. Taba grabbed Manta before Proto, so that's 1. So the other one that he's going to be missing is red coins from Fire Sea. I'm not sure what he's going to plan to do to make up for that star, though. I mean, what's the backup there?
Yeah, he must be gunning for something. I mean, since you're doing CCM 18, you can do like THI reds or SL reds as a backup for that, I guess. And it won't
He's going to go back in Fire Sea! Oh, wait.
Yeah, no, just the standard, exit course there. And Taba taking a death in Fire Sea Bowser. What even?
This is an absolutely interesting first race for this final. Don't know if these guys are collabing to be like, hey, let's mess with these guys. Or not.
You know, must just be good script writing. Protoman not liking that triple jump angle. And see how he does. Oh, not getting far enough on the left of that corner to get the triple jump there.
Yeah,
or
that's
for the wall kick,
unfortunate.
sorry.
Very unfortunate to see, but doing a nice job cleaning it up.
Okay, so Taba is going to be moving upstairs as Protoman does have his 34th star. So I think it's safe to say he's still ahead, but very interesting turn of events there at the very end. I wonder which red he missed. I don't think it was the first one in the box. And he definitely grabbed like the very first one on that initial platform.
He flat out just missed 4 coins.
Yeah,
He's gonna have to go back.
He's not got what is
What is he
Protoman
doing?
even doing? Does he what? This doesn't make sense at all because I guess you can get like 2, 3 coin boxes, but I don't think that they're worse than picking up those coins.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a lot faster to just go back. Taba having difficulty with that triple jump. Gets on the second try. Gets the cage jump though. Missing more coins. He's gonna have to go back for those.
And taking the amp and
Oh,
the
no.
flipper there. Fortunately, not the booty burn. And T would ever asking if anyone can get rid of Taba's start button.
Well, that was a problem that he had in the semis as well. Again, it's something that frustrates me as a commentator because it's just so unnecessary. And
Yeah,
it just wastes time. That's all it does.
Just Rage Mario Cam instead.
Getting picked up by the Chuckya there.
And Taba nearly missing that blue would have been in a pretty similar predicament to Proto, who's having to just invent new coin boxes at the moment. He pauses to let the game know he's upset. Like this. You can see Mario just laid out on his funeral pyre right there. He just lost like 5 seconds right there, purely due to pausing.
Taba having a lot of difficulty there. Getting flipped around, having to go back down. Just a very, I gotta say, this has gotta be the most interesting race that I've commentated in a while.
Yeah, certainly. Kind of it feels a little bit like a D-Rust race or something. Maybe these guys haven't played in just a minute. I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
Well, I think you're right. No, Taba not having to get any of those coin boxes, fortunately, gets 100.
Again, meanwhile, Proto gonna be going ahead and moving up to the top of the town. Nice, comfy strats here. Going ahead and taking that ugly water beetle for a ride. D-Rust, isn't this the grand finals? Well, the matches have been a little bit apart, so, you know, maybe for whatever reason these guys haven't practiced as much as they potentially should have for the past week or so.
It has been a minute since the semis, so that could be a possibility.
Fire Breather with a really nice explanation that they're just nervous, which could certainly be the case. Imagine counting 100 rage pauses. Imagine pausing 100 times.
Proto there taking care of THI secrets. That can be such a difficult star, but he, you know, managed it very well. Oh, Taba almost nearly falling off there.
Monk S ending.
Saved with the ledge grab. Now I gotta think. You know what's Proto Man's backup for Fire Sea Reds? Like what's the fastest star?
I think the absolute fastest would actually be THI reds, but that's only if you do it completely optimally, which is very unlikely to expect in a race. Realistically, I think we're going to be seeing an SL reds.
What's Taba's just having a lot of difficulty there with secrets, missing 2 and 3, having to go back for them. Taking a bonk from the mini Goomba, taking another bonk. Dude, he is just pausing like crazy.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Taba's a little bit upset. Maybe just 1 degree tilted.
I'd be interested to see just like how much time he's lost just based off of pausing.
It's certainly got to be in the realm of like 10 seconds or more at this point. And so let's go ahead and get through these piranhas real quick. Taking kind of a weird path through, I'm being honest. Taba's saying in the back room he's losing his mind right now. It certainly appears that way.
Oh, Protoman. Protoman trying to go for breezeless there, glitching in and out.
Yeah, nearly getting it there. It's unfortunate to see when you're just on the rim of getting breezeless, but it's just not quite working out. And Taba with he clips back into the mountain pretty quickly, but sorry.
Proto!
Just
With the
long jumping right
full
off the top of the mountain.
Yeah, he missed that. He just barely missed that log. Like he didn't even bonk on the log. Just completely missed it.
Yeah, Proto not pausing though. The optimal time loss strat is going to get the log wall kick. See if he gets to the top. For whatever reason, I thought Taba was going for Wiggler, and so that's why I freaked out when he flipped back out of the mountain.
That would have been unfortunate to see.
Yeah, Wiggler takes like a minute and a half, I think, no matter what, pretty much. So.
Taba not missing that log. See if Proto can get this log jump. Wall kick. He will.
And it's good. Kind of a shallow angle, but he made it work. And the 3 jump dive. The beautiful side flip special there. Thanks to whoever wrote the script. You're welcome.
Well, you know what's funny is they did say that they needed to practice a practice session together. Maybe this is it.
Yeah, probably wishing that they were in Usamoon with that L reset. This is
nice box jump there.
This is wackadoodle stark raving bonkers time. Okay. Solemn.
That's actually a pretty accurate description.
Yeah, I can agree with it. I can certainly agree with it. So we've got Taba advancing on his own box star here. What does Division 2 mean? Is there a league above this? Yes, and they had their finals live at Pace a few weeks back. You can see all the VODs on our YouTube page. I think it's specifically on the GSA Speedrun tournaments page. I think there's like one specifically for tournaments. Protoman getting a pretty clean reds overall, but then that last little jump just not agreeing with him whatsoever.
Yeah, he's just not able to get that weird wall kick there.
What is Taba doing right now? Look at, oh my,
no!
Taking a death on the rollout instead of, oh man. Such an insane bit of movement, but just dying on that last possible moment.
I think that's Taba's 4th death overall.
Yeah, he's certainly taken a few. That's, you can't deny that.
Wow. But yeah, so if you weren't able to watch the live action at Pace, it is as Electric was saying on YouTube.
Taba unable to get the ledge grab there, just at a slightly bad angle.
Taba having trouble there as well. More rage pausing.
Yeah, so when the leagues were first made, there were 2 PB cutoffs. If you met the first one, but not the second one, you got into Div 2. If you met both, then you got into Div 1. So it's these guys at the very start of the leagues had like slightly slower PBs than the guys in Div 1, but as the league has progressed, a lot of them have actually improved a pretty decent amount. I think the PB cutoff was like a 52 or 53 back whenever the league started.
Definitely check out. Again, if you haven't watched Pace, if you didn't get to, actually, I can't if I can speak. If you didn't get to see Pace live, we have it on YouTube. Punke with the 47 and 70 star. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yep.
Tablet just ground pounding his way to SL. What was that?
Just absolutely cannot hit the Z button before the A button for whatever reason. But he's in there now, going for this snowman's head, and not even, oh, just, see, that slope is so rough because you can't see the difference between the polygon that's at an angle that makes it a wall and the one right above it that's at a slope you can triple jump off of. But pretty decent backup within the deep freeze, so isn't losing too much time, but that's full tilt right there, I'm sure.
Proto was going for reds, loses the shell.
Is just going to go ahead and go for this star as a backup real quick. Interesting visual cue. Nowhere near the star with that ground pound.
Here we go.
As chat is saying, lots of spaghetti. I don't know if anyone was asking for Italian tonight, but
you're getting it anyway.
You're getting all the spaghetti you can want.
You really just have no choice at this point.
You see Proto going for his reds once again.
Hopefully gets better shell luck this time. Looks like he's doing it.
I'm pretty sure that's the backup he's gonna go with. Unless I'm trying to remember, Reds SL is in 70, correct?
It is if you're doing CCM 17 with HMC early. So it shouldn't be in their route normally, so he's definitely using it as his backup there for Fire C, which is very interesting to say. I wouldn't have expected to ever have to say that in a race. Going downstairs after a quick bonk. Going for MIPS 2, hopefully gets better luck with this one. Doubt we're going to see him be as bold as going for the punch grab, but who knows. Get it once, might surprise us again.
Well, Mips grab from Proto, not missing him this time around.
Pretty clean, pretty clean.
Weird wall movement there from Proto. Taba close behind. Talk to Todd. Now that we have a moment, though, if you want to know more about what GSA has going on, check out exclamation point bracket or exclamation point schedule in chat. We've also got merch. Exclamation point merch in chat. Make sure to check it out.
GSA doing a lot for the world of professional speedrun racing, and this tournament is no exception. A lot of really exciting tournaments and other games going on are just starting up right now, though. I'm watching a lot of SMS races. Yeah, Dark Side is such an exciting category that is really, the full potential is really just now being realized. Now that Chaos is running it and a lot of other top runners have moved over to it.
Good triple box jumps from both these guys. Taba grabbing that star. We're going for that emergency exit.
With the right side movement there, doing it pretty clean. If you get the ledge grab there, you are already losing time over the left side strat, but for some people, it's more consistent. It really just kind of depends. The left side strat that Taba's going for right now, the camera... Oh, this can happen, for instance, but saving it very clutch there. A lot of the time, you'll just fall right down to the pit, have no hope.
And those boulders just giving Taba such a hard time.
It is able to avoid the Toast Rider special, though. Is Proto also collecting emergency exit? Or, sorry, Rolling Rock. Even like in my mind, like the star I was picturing was Rolling Rock Star, but I just called it the completely wrong thing.
It happens.
Brain no worky sometimes. And Taba just committing to that dive there. If you're unsure of that strat, you can remove the dive and it makes it a lot more consistent at the cost of some time, depending on if you end up getting a ledge grab or not. Protoman going for Christmas Miracle and ground pounding. I have not seen that movement yet. Very interesting.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't have a good angle for that dive, so opting for the ground pound too. Not a bad idea. Oh, Taba. That spider getting in his way.
Taba, meanwhile, getting a much better angle. Is able to dive Mario right on there. Oh, but then missing the ground pound at the end there. So, the reason that you dive right at the end there is you can actually make that strat without diving. But Mario's quarter frame movement, whenever you're going through the game, each frame, the game checks 4 different positions in front of Mario to see like if there's 4 there and it can move Mario there if it's a valid position. And you have to make collision with the switch during one of those 4 quarter frame checks. And doing the dive ensures that that happens. But before people realize that, that's actually the reason the strat was named Christmas Miracle, because people didn't know that quarter frame movement was a thing. And so they just thought that if you got that jump, it was just good job. It was kind of RNG at the time. New to SM64, what is Tippy? The last 2 stages of the castle make up Tippy. They're TTC and Rainbow Ride. Rainbow Ride you're seeing right now. And both these players getting the pretty well hardest star out of the way first. Lakitu bounce.
Tippy tip of the castle. Oh! Taba! Taking a... What was that? That was a weird dive. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm having to back up with reds. No rage pausing yet. Protoman. Tricky triangles, not too tricky.
Someone's saying in chat that the dive just prevents fall damage. I haven't heard that before. It was Super Viper, I think, that I heard. It ensures the quarter frame movement is correct. But I haven't like pulled up Stroop and seen it for myself. Protoman with the big old bonk instead of a wall kick there.
Both these guys having a lot of difficulty through Rainbow Ride.
Yeah, Protoman with that really dusty dive there, and take this. Oh, not taking the booty bird, just barely. Is gonna manage to get up there with a few side flip wall kicks.
Let's see if Taba can get this. Get the Lakitu bounce, but movement upwards.
Taking kind of a weird camera angle this time around, but it has got it under his belt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Sunshine only, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Dives don't prevent fall damage in this game. If you dive from high enough, it just, like, it will bonk you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sunshine, whenever I found that out, I was very surprised. I was like, wait, what?
Protoman swinging in that breeze. Nice movement.
Taba falling for the tricky triangles, but does manage to get back up there without them having to retract.
Protoman hitting into TikTok. We'll talk to Todd later.
An optimal strat there. A little bit tricky to get the movement for, but if you do, it does save like 1/3 of a second, I think. What didn't happen is, yeah, honestly, that is the best question. 2 deaths in Dark. He's taken 4 total deaths. 2 in Dark World. A couple upstairs. I forget exactly where.
And then paused a lot.
Yeah. In Wet Dry World 100, it was pretty devastating. He got flipped by 2 separate flippers, I think. Like just right in a row, and he kept pausing in between over and over.
Honestly, if he hadn't have rage paused as much as he had, he could be like right behind Proto.
Oh yeah, ground pounded like 5 times going over to SSM or TTA. What am I saying?
SL. No problem so far. TikTok clock, certainly arguably the hardest level here in 70 star.
Yeah, the
Taba
hardest
taking on
star.
100 coins.
The real reason this stage is so hard, I mean, in addition to having a lot of very tricky platforming, is you're having to deal with the game not quite handling these rotating platforms right. And the game has this weird thing where, like, if Mario's jumping over a ceiling, there has to be a floor tile to accompany that ceiling tile in between Mario and the ceiling. Like, Mario can't actually jump over a ceiling. And the way that these rotating platforms go and the way that ceilings are defined in this game is by the slope that a polygon has. And so there are points when the platforms are rotating that certain polygons on them are registered as ceilings. And that's what causes the invis-walls, is Mario goes over one of those points and the game's like, oh, you're jumping over a ceiling without a floor. You can't do that. And it just bonks you. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, the game is a wonder for how well it's made with no real example to go off of, but things like that just make you question, like, what?
Well, regardless of everything that has occurred here in the past 50 minutes, this is still a pretty close race. Taba having difficulty there with the turning platforms. Attempting to negotiate the movement here, able to do so. As Proto goes for his 100, this will be the last 2 stars that he needs here in TTC before he goes to talk to Todd.
It's certainly a big moment for him to attempt to clutch out this race. Taba missing the time movement there. Gonna have to take the other way around the clock here. That's another one that's just really rough to deal with, is having to go all the way up here when you move that time moving, when you miss that time moving strat.
Well, that's why you save those 2 backups for last, is because that can be tricky. But while we were saying that, Proto doing a really nice job here with these 100s. He has 2 backups. What? Proto.
And Taba,
Taba,
going
sorry.
back into the very, very interesting choices there. Proto, though, is done with his 100 coin, has 69 stars.
Oh, Taba.
Nothing important about that number whatsoever, as Taba takes his 5th death in the run. 5th, 6th, I don't even know. Yeah,
Proto.
absolute tippy meltdown here.
Proto almost forgetting that all he had to do was talk to Todd there, but Taba just, I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Nice movement so far, though, getting up the clock real quick.
I think he mixed up what stars he had grabbed and didn't know how to negotiate that.
Yeah, I think that's right, too. But Protoman is, meanwhile, in bits, potentially going to close out this race 1 with a pretty hefty multiple-minute lead over Taba.
Well, chat's saying it right, you know, how is this still a possible 53? I mean, these guys were able to negotiate, you know, the problems that they had pretty nicely. You know, Proto going left side here.
Kind of interesting way of doing it. Looks like he didn't hold forward until very, very late in that first kick, or first jump. I've had a lot more success when you hit A and then almost immediately forward.
Looks like he didn't trust that long jump. Just choosing to take sort of the long way around. Taba finishing up his reds as Proto. As long as he can get 3 out of 3, he'll finish with a mid 53.
Second grab. Let's see here. Kabloomers. That's number 2. He's got one more throw to, and that's it. That is race number 1 between Proto and Taba. Taba is in the hot seat here. If he can win these next 2 races outright, then that is the game set match for him. But Proto in prime position to go home with the Div 2 champion title, as Taba taking one last bonk on that rotating platform, trying to go for the optimal kind of diagonal strat there.
Well, Taba's saying in the back, you know, I think both these guys need to take a moment, kind of regroup. You know, Proto taking the win there, still, you know, not having that great of a run. Mistakes left and right, spaghetti everywhere, like we said before. But GG's to Proto on that first race win. Like you were saying, just needs to clutch one more win, and he'll take the grand final win.
That's certainly what it's looking like, and yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how that run progressed. It looks honestly like Proto really just had such a solid tippy. I wonder if that momentum is going to carry into the next run, if he's going to be able to maintain that really high level of gameplay that Tippy had into just the early parts of the run that were just so brutal for him, honestly.
Well, and that's what that's what Proto's got to do. He's just got to take this momentum, take it into the next race, and that's how you win. That's how you win this. Taba, on the other hand, he's got to completely change his mentality here. I mean, 5 deaths, he rage paused left and right, ground pounding his way to SL. I mean, I gotta say, just overall, just purely based off of, you know, decisions when it comes to management of, you know, your mentality, he lost upwards of a minute. I beg to say that if he hadn't have rage paused a single time, he might have been able to, you know, be within a couple of seconds of Proto.
Yeah, I
even
feel
with the deaths.
Yeah, and I feel like with the mistakes, he probably was in a position that either way, I think at the very end, especially with those last 2 deaths, I think it was kind of a loss for him, but he certainly would have been a lot closer without those pauses. And saying in chat, I will not rage pause a single time next run.
I hold you to that, Taba. I will hold you to that. But yeah, I mean, but you know what, to a certain degree, this is exactly the sort of thing. And we see Proto here, you know, practicing FS Reds, you know, making sure he's grabbing all 8, you know, making that same mistake there. But that's okay. Practice run, get it out of the way now. As we see him with the rage pauses.
Yeah, taking the elevator up again. And Fire Blue Vixen asking for a shout out for having to go to the hospital. Good luck with the pneumonia. I hope it all goes well. And don't listen to good Mackie. Just take the full run of antibiotics. That's how they work. Don't stop early because you feel good. That's not how they work.
Mamma mia!
But I mean, other than mentality changes from Taba, what do you think will help him secure these next 2 wins?
I think a more solid early game for sure, and I think really maybe taking a couple of things a little bit more safe. You know, both of these guys pulling out some pretty intense strats, but I think Tabo is really the one more so pulling out stuff that you'd more expect in higher categories or like single star runners even. So I think Tabo needs to maybe take the gameplay down just a notch, just only because of consistency. I feel like he's trying to balance a little bit more on the speed side, and he needs to look at consistency in order to get this next race, I feel like. And, you know, those strats, too, can take a little bit of energy out of you because of just how much you're worrying beforehand, the intensity of focus that you have during, and, you know, you kind of relax a little bit after, but that little bit of relaxation you get right after it's done can harm you whenever you're trying to do another star right after it's pretty difficult and you're not as focused as you should be. So, you know, I definitely think if he goes for a few more consistent things, that will make a huge difference, especially with some of the deaths that we saw.
Let me see here. Both these
Perman taking
guys.
that quick death there.
Yeah. Both these guys getting. Looks like Tab is back in the seat, ready to go. Wait for Proto. But I think you're right. I mean, it's interesting. I've heard the whole thing you're talking about as far as like being comfortable. I've heard of it before called positive tilt, where you get too comfortable with where you're at, and like you said, you lose that focus. And I don't think a lot of people talk about it because it's just kind of this. It's not as apparent as negative tilt is. But I think you're right.